Oh, I'll make sure I got all my volumes and stuff turned down here. Yeah, we're good. Okay, make sure there's nothing that way. All right, just squared up. All right, Pooh and Stitch says 5x5. And see if we get a couple others just to make sure, because last week you guys were a little. North Shore says 5x5. Healthy disrespect for authority 5x5. Finley the dog. Okay. Treasure Seekers 2x4. I'm going to take one on the side of your head. All right. Happy Saturday night, guys. Happy long weekend. I hope y'all are having a little bit of fun. I wasn't really expecting a whole lot of people tonight. Kind of the reason why we decided to do the giveaway for Tuesday instead of tonight, because I figure, okay, people are at the lake, at grandma's house, whatever, celebrating a long weekend or whatever, just spending time. So, I figure, all right, we'll make sure we do this when everybody's got a chance. I don't want to take people away from family for a giveaway, but that was that. So, yeah, it was fun for me and Mrs. P today. It's one of those things that it's really weird, and I've said this to you guys before. When I'm doing this, okay, when I'm on video or whatever it is, I mean, I'm ready for questions and things like that. But when I'm out and about just being the normal me, and somebody stops me, I take it aback for a second. It's like, okay, my mind is not there. We were at Home Depot in Knoxville today getting some flowers, and gentleman comes up to me and says, "Love your show." And it took me a second. I'm like, huh? Oh, okay, got it. It's just one of those things. It's like, you're not always there. It's like, it's not what I was planning. But I mean, it's kind of funny because I mean, we've run into people at, oh, what is it, the Granger County Tomato Festival, the grocery store. I mean, different places, and it's just every time I'm not ready for it. It's just okay. So, if you do see me out and about and have say hi, and I kind of look at you like a deer in the headlights for a second, it's just because I'm not thinking pinball that way at the moment. So it's kind of fun, but it's always nice to meet somebody. It's just weird sometimes when I'm not expecting it. So that was it. So, all right. A couple of things I want to bring up. I saw in the comments before somebody was talking about the Australian law, I guess in Victoria, about banning food or banning growing your own food. Joe Rogan got duped, guys. That is not what that law says. He was reading some fake news story or whatever it is and went off on something about it. Nothing against Joe Rogan whatsoever. We all make mistakes every once in a while, but that is not what the new law in Australia says. People can still grow food. If you're going, I mean, and there's a few of you guys here from Australia and stuff, but I mean, if I'm going to get an authority on growing food in Australia, I'll go see what Mark at Self Sufficient Me says. If Mark says there's a ban on growing food, because he's down in Australia and the guy is like a master gardener, if he says it, then I'll believe it. But, again, double checking sources and things like that. So that was the first one. The other one, and this one's geared more toward those of us in the States. You can imagine, after everything that happened in Uvalde and it happened in Buffalo a couple of weeks ago, that the Democrats are banging the table again for gun control and gun confiscation and things like that. And there is, of course, the fake news that will come out about that. Yes, you have Chris Murphy working with John Cornyn to try to put something together, new gun laws or whatever. I want you guys to please remember this. First off, it's an election year, and the Democrats are desperate for any sort of talking point they can have, because they certainly can't talk about the southern border or crime or the economy or baby food or grocery stores or gas prices or whatever. So they've got to find something. So that's what they're going to go after right now. But remember that they need, right now in the Senate, to pass anything, 10 Republicans to pass anything. And mind you, this again goes back into why Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema not blowing up the filibuster is so huge, okay? Because then they could pass it on 51, and with the cackling hen, they'd have it. But so they'd need 60. And that's a tough hill to climb right now. But you've got some, okay? And it strikes me as odd as to where some of these senators are that could go either way. And I'll just quickly give you a list of them that could actually side with the Democrats. Some will make sense to you. Some you're like, huh? Okay. John Cornyn, obviously. Okay. But out of Texas, I mean, somebody from Texas wants to limit gun ownership. Surprising. Tom Tillis out of North Carolina. Okay. Rob Portman out of Ohio. Now, Portman's retiring, so not a big deal. As long as something doesn't go through before next January, he's a moot point. Roy Blunt from Missouri. Susan Collins from Maine. You can almost bet she's on board with this. Okay. I mean, she's turned into the Uber rhino. Then the Uber rhino himself, Mitt Romney, you know that. Okay, yeah, Utah's going to want to get rid of their guns. Let me see how that one happens. Romney is so disconnected with reality, it's unbelievable. Marco Rubio, Rubio's pseudo rhino, but definitely a flip flopper. Lindsey Graham, he's one that goes whichever way the wind blows. And Pat Toomey out of Pennsylvania, and then Bill Cassidy out of Louisiana. Just kind of surprised me. So, if you're in any of those states, pay attention to what your senators are doing, because they're going to be the ones that have something to do with all of this. So, yeah, just pay close attention the next 6 months, 5 months, whatever it is, because you're going to hear a lot of talk on gun control, gun confiscation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a lot of posturing, if you will, for votes. Democrats trying to rally the base, Republicans maybe rhinos trying to flip people to vote for them, and then of course I'll never do anything about it, which they better not, but beside the point. But yeah, those are the ones that if there was any likelihood of flipping, that would be probably the 10 I'd see as most likely to flip. Okay. So, all right. As we know, we got 4 political parties anyway. I mean, in order from left to right, socialists, rhinos, Democrats, and what do they call us? MAGA or something like that, America First people, constitutionalists, libertarians, whatever, Republicans, deplorables, whatever, I mean, all the names that the people on the right side of the pendulum, have. But yeah, so that would be it. So just watch out for the rhinos. I'm hoping to God that the country starts waking up with these primaries and starts blowing some of these people out of here. I mean, it's bad enough we got the Democrats trying to destroy this country, but we certainly don't need people that are claiming to be Republicans doing it too. So, but I'll stick with my libertarian constitutionalist tag and go from there. All right, let's get into Q&A. That's always the most fun part here, as you guys get sick of listening to me. I get sick of listening to me, but so you guys know the rules, okay? Keep it clean. Lucky Dame, Lorna, North Shore, Jacob, and Robert do a really good job keeping the riffraff out of here, And again, you'll see it in the comments on the videos. I will remind everybody real quick, and I know what happened again today. Somebody trying to pretend they're me. It was Pinball Prepared, ... saying, oh, WhatsApp me or whatever it is. Guys, okay, I don't use Instagram. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't use TikTok, anything like that of the sort, all right? I'm not going to ask you for money. I'm not going to say, hey, contact me. I've got specific information for you. If I have specific information for you, I've got it for 77,000 other people. It's going to go in a video, all right? So all those are scams. Don't worry about them. I appreciate you guys letting me know so I can just block those people from the channel or whatever. They're just trying to scam you. So don't worry about that sort of stuff. It's never going to be me. But, thank you to the mods for keeping crap like that out of here. It's very helpful. Makes it for a more enjoyable experience for everybody, including me. Okay, not seeing people freaking out over some of this stuff. If you have questions for me, please put them in all caps. Let's avoid the YouTube taboo subjects as usual. You guys know what those are. I will try to get to as many questions as I can. I don't skip anybody's question unless I've already answered it or unless it's a taboo subject. So, people say, oh, you didn't answer my question. You put a question up at 10 minutes to 9, guys, chances are I'm not getting to it. So, or 10 minutes to 10, I'm sorry. So I go through as many as I can, but it takes, there's a lot more of you guys than there are me, and it takes less time for you to type it than it takes me to answer some of these questions. So let's not waste any more time with that. Let's get into it. Mods, do your deal. And if people don't like it, scroll. Okay, so let me get to the top, and we'll go from there. So let's see. Lily B, your thoughts about the U.S. seizing an Iranian tanker and Iran seizing Greek tankers. What's next? Oh, it's a tit for tat deal out there in the Persian Gulf and in the Med. It's just, you talk about the pirates, and Iran is always trying to stir up trouble, and my thoughts are, if Iran's involved, something's crooked. All right, they're just trying to screw stuff up and make it more difficult for the rest of the world. And frankly, I don't care too much about it, because it's not like we're buying Iranian oil anyway. So, where it's going, who knows? And then the other thing is, if they're sending oil to North Korea, gee, and it doesn't get there, I really don't care. So not a problem. But what's the reason we seized it? That I don't know. Montana Grizz fan, hello from Montana. I'm taking care of the St. Bernard puppy I rescued from an animal shelter this past Tuesday. Good work. Okay, it's always nice to see, a pup getting a second chance at life. I mean, I understand there's some that people that got a puppy don't know what to do with it. Their dog had puppies or whatever it is. But yeah, the fact going out and rescuing one like that is, thank you. That means a lot to me. I mean, y'all know Copper's a rescue, so. North Shore Finger's not working today. Great. That's what I need out of a moderator, somebody who can't type. Okay. Hexer1 Pinball, I bought the tire pump, just got it today, plus a camp shower. I don't mind getting dirty, but I like being pretty doing it. There you go. Like I said, tire pump, good idea. It's funny you talk about a camp shower. There's a video that I want to make. I just haven't had a chance yet to do a couple of different things to show you guys. But, one of them is on a camp shower, how to do it yourself. So I'll get into that one here when I get around to it. It's like everything isn't politics. Some of the stuff I want to, do the easy way, or, do the proper way that you're going to have to do it here. So. Mark C. Augustin Farms butter powder, milk, bananas, apples, potato shreds, vegetable soup at Winco Foods, California, 10 cans, $15. That's a good price. So anybody out in Cali, there's a place if you're close to get. I mean, not that everybody in California is close, but if you're close, there's places cheap. Maybe other Wincos have it too. Ann Palmer, Pinball, did YouTube ever say if they were going to put up last Saturday's backup? Had to pause halfway through, wanted to finish it. I have asked, and they told me well, we don't know why it's down. I'm like, you guys took it down and then gave it back to me. Took the strike away. So I'm still fighting with them on it. But it's not like it's a high priority to them. So if I haven't heard anything by now Tuesday, I will ask them again, because it messes me up too, because then I try to keep track. As you notice, I put the number of each one of these underneath. So if somebody asks a question or whatever it is, I can feasibly go back to a specific one. Just don't go surprise free play. Well, great. There's 72 of them at this point. So yeah, it helps me for keeping track of stuff too. Uh, Misfit Makeup. Is it better to plant sweet potatoes in a container or in the ground? Which provides a better yield? Okay, I'm guessing you're talking about planting your sweet potato slips, because if you plant sweet potatoes, all you're going to get is slips. You're not going to get new potatoes. If you're planting your slips, then you'll get new potatoes. Uh, it really doesn't matter which way you plant it. You're still going to get yield. It depends on the size of the container too. Okay. I mean, if you try to put it in a 5-gallon bucket, forget it. You're going to get tiny little potatoes and not much of a yield. I mean, y'all know, I mean, sweet potatoes, I mean, you'll get them that are a foot long and, 6 inches around. They need space to grow. So, if you're going to plant sweet potatoes in a container, it's going to need to be, a 50-gallon pot or a kiddie pool or something like that. Sweet potatoes are going to need space because they can get very big. Bob Ethrickson, when will the butter knife become illegal? I saw something the other day. It was a political cartoon, and we've all said it too. I've said it a couple of times. When are they going to outlaw cars? More people die in car accidents than die from guns every year, but there's no ban on cars. But the comments in there, more people die from knives, more people die from fisticuffs, drunk driving. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. But see, that doesn't rile up the people. I mean, you saw it at the NRA conference or whatever, people out yelling outside, F you, F you, F you, and all the crazy stuff that has been on videos of people screaming and yelling, But my question is this, that y'all know what I mean by this. That coat hanger is a hell of a lot more deadly than any AR-15 is. But they seem to be all for that one. Yes, I know that's not the way it's done, but you know what I mean. Okay. Tracy H, did I see 3 more bishops ban Pelosi from receiving Holy Communion? Hopefully this is a trend. No, I did not. I saw the one earlier this week or whenever that one was, but not that I have a whole lot of faith in what the Catholic Church is. I mean, this Pope is a complete embarrassment, and I'm not Catholic anyway, but the Pope is a woke politician. He's not a religious leader by any means, from some of the stuff that he talks about. But do you think Pelosi really cares? Well, yeah, of course she cares. She's going, hey, free wine. But yeah, good. Kim, do I think the World Economic Forum was as successful this year? Successful at what? We don't have any new reasons to close down the world yet. So, but yeah, I mean, like I did the video the other day, when Klaus Schwab says, the future is going to be controlled by us or built by us or however the hell he put it. I'm like, no, it ain't, brother. Your future is very short if you try to implement anything that you are putting into play, because there's probably, I don't know, 8.9 billion people in the world who are going, and maybe the 100,000 that are going to agree with you are going to be finding, tall trees and short ropes real quick. So, I mean, the World Economic Forum is a joke. I mean, why? Where I say it's a joke, I mean, it's something to take serious. Don't get me wrong. But who gave these people the authority to tell us which way the world's going to go? I didn't. I'm sure as hell not given some Nazi, German in Klaus Schwab a decision in how my life runs. Okay? I never gave him any sort of that authority. Sorry, we're a sovereign country, dude. It may work for weak-minded people. It ain't working in the United States. We shoot back. Hillbilly Homesteader 1776. What would be your thoughts about storing fuel? 55-gallon drum and a hand pump. That's fine if you have the ability to use it, rotate it, and get it out. I mean, if you're talking about getting a hand pump or whatever, that's fine. But, again, like I talked about in the video the other day, where? Okay. In your, if you live where you're going to bug out, fine. If you don't live where you're going to, if you have a bug out location, that fuel needs to be at that bug out location. Uh, because you're not moving a 55-gallon drum full of gasoline. Okay. Just not happening. But you need to be able to rotate it. You can't just put it out there like you can, can of food and go, okay, 2 years later, it's still good. That gasoline will be all gummy and there's no, it's useless. So you're going to have to rotate it. If you have the ability to do it, go for it. Okay. But again, remember safety measures and stuff like that. I mean, that's very explosive too. It's all you need is some teenagers to come out with a cigarette and go ding, and poof, the entire, suddenly you've got, nice little fireball in the backyard. Mountaintop Reps, my thoughts on Beto reaching a new low. Beto's just, I mean, talk about a national embarrassment. This guy thought he could be president. He's going to run for any office he possibly can until he runs for dog catcher and loses. I mean, mind you, he ran for president. Out. Okay. Oh, then I'm going to run for senator. Nope, I lost. Okay, now I'm going to try to run for governor. Pulls a stunt like he did the other day. Okay. There was a reporter, black reporter too, said to him, trying to ask questions about, why are you trying to use Uvalde as a political point? Beto wouldn't even look at him, let alone answer the question. I mean, the guy, he looks I mean, he's the type of person that looks the part. He is coward with a yellow stripe straight down his back, and he looks the part. I mean, there's a reason Beta Male is his nickname. Okay. But yeah, Beto's got no chance of winning the governorship of Texas. I mean, zero. And like I said, he'll eventually work his way down to dog catcher until he loses, and then eventually he'll fade off into the sunset somewhere. Whoops, just shot to the bottom. Let's see if I can get back to it there. I couldn't catch the name. Is Aruba Talone or something like that? Repost your question. I read the first couple of things you were talking about the Texas cops, and it shot to the bottom, and I can't get up to the top there. Cindy T, do I think DeSantis should run for president? Yes. It's going to, I mean, and again, we're way too early to start to, I mean, you go back to any previous election. I mean, before Trump won, Ben Carson was the hot ticket 2 years early, and we're way too early. So, do I think DeSantis should run? Sure, throw his hat in the ring. I mean, he seems to has his head screwed on straight. Now you got to remember, DeSantis barely won Florida, so there were people that didn't particularly care for him in the first place. But I think he's shown a lot over the last couple of years, on what he could be. But Trump's still the wild card. Again, if Trump says he's going to run, pretty much you'd probably bet nobody else or very few other people. You have some Adam Kinzinger or something like that will run. Bluebird of Happiness, thank you for the super chat. How long before the diesel additive, you're talking about DEF fluid, I'm assuming, before that's empty? I did a video on it today where we're not getting it from Russia, we're not getting it from China, so now we've got to get it from either Egypt or Qatar. So, we're short, demand is certainly outstripping supply. I can't tell you when it's going to run out, but it ain't going to be long unless they fix something here. Homestead Unknown, your thoughts on the meteor storm happening Monday? I didn't even know there was one, so those are my thoughts. I don't have any. So, Judy Ool, any idea on future meat poultry prices looking to buy for freezer? Get it now. Okay. Any place in every place you can talk to, whether it's meat processors, farmers, butchers, whatever it would be, I tell you, meat prices are continuing to go up. Then you get the bird flu raising the price of chicken. You've got, all the stories on pork recalls and things. Food ain't getting cheaper, guys. Not for a long time. So anything you can get right now, if you find it on sale, buy every one. I mean, North Shore did a video this afternoon about being out yard sailing, which is, an awesome idea this time of year. Found a bunch of propane bottles. What do you say? Bought them all. Yeah. I mean, don't worry about this crap where people go, oh, you're hoarding stuff. No, I'm just buying something that's on sale. Why, guys, remember, why do stores put things on sale? They have too much of it. Okay. So they're perfectly happy for you to come in and go, oh, chicken breasts are on sale for 99 cents a pound. Cool. I'll take 12 packages. And they go, great. That's out of the freezer. You know, don't worry about what other people think. Screw it. If they wanted it so bad, they'd go buy it. If there isn't any left, I'm sorry. You should have been at the store earlier. It's just the way it is. Tracy Coffin, is it too late to start making sweet potato slips to plant in Zone 9A? Zone 9, if I'm not mistaken, for growing sweet potatoes, in that far south, you do that. I want to say you plant somewhere around Thanksgiving for sweet potatoes. So you're 6 months too late or 6 months too early. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think you're growing sweet potatoes. I don't think summertime that far south. I don't live that far south. I don't think that far south summertime is your growth. I think you are a over winter, early spring type sweet potato location. Stacy Dobbin, hi Pinball. I'm doing a balcony garden that faces east and I'm in Ontario, Canada. Will tomatoes and lettuces grow? Any advice on east to grow plants? Okay, the first one you got is you are looking at two opposite plants. Tomatoes are a hot weather plant. Lettuce is a cold weather plant. So if you're trying to plant them both at the same time, you're probably not going to be successful. Depending, on Ontario. Okay, so I'm going to go off of roughly Detroit weather. So that puts you at zone 5, I think it would be. You are probably fine growing your tomatoes now. I'm betting at this point it's too late for lettuce. Lettuce should have been in long ago. You should be harvesting lettuce by now. But yeah, if you're growing tomatoes, growing in pots, make sure you've got a big enough pot. Make sure you water it frequently because it will dry. Pots will dry out really fast, especially in the summer. And make sure to fertilize it appropriately. But you're going to have to keep the water up on there, and you're going to have to get some sort of stake and string or something like that to twist it up. So, but I would skip the lettuce. You're too late, but tomatoes you should be fine. And being facing east, that's great. You're going to get morning sun. So, Diane Lilverte, blessings to all veterans. Happy Memorial Day. Well, Monday is not a veterans holiday. It's a died in combat day. Okay. We had, you've got a few different holidays. You got Armed Forces Day, you've got Veterans Day, you got Memorial Day. Memorial Day is to honor those that have fallen, not just Joe average veteran or anything like that. So, yes, if you get a chance, say a prayer at a cemetery, give a salute to the cemetery, go into a cemetery, put a flag down, something like that, all those freedoms that we are losing. There's a lot of guys rolling in their graves going, I fought for this crap and you guys are giving it away willingly. So, promise them we won't all do that. Cheryl Halfhill, what would be a good vegetable to grow in partial shade? Most veggies like sun. Some of your colder crops are going to like that. Summertime crops, your tomatoes, your cucumbers, your peppers, those all need the sun. you'd probably be better with fruits. I mean, you can grow some blueberries in partial shade. Gooseberries are really good. But summer I mean, your cool weather vegetables, the lettuces, the cabbage, that sort of stuff, the broccolis, those can handle some shade, no problem. They don't like the sun as much. But the summertime vegetables, peppers, cukes, tomatoes, that sort of stuff, they need the sun. So yeah, it's a little late to be trying to figure out shade ones. Where was that? Colleen, thank you for the super chat. Excited for the new pond. I am too. All that rain we got the other day was good. But what we're running into now is I'm about 2 feet from the edge on the west side of the pond, and there's no water yet on the east side of the pond. Again, I'm on a hill. And so we might have to go back and build up a little bit again. We're waiting to figure it out. So, yeah. But apparently, when they shot the grade, they might not have done something right. We'll see what happens. Mark San Pietro, any good advice for a lower cost fuel storage container for storing heating oil? Unfortunately, that I don't have. I've never had to have a heating oil storage. I mean, I lived up in New England, but it was in apartments, so I didn't have to worry about that. So I'm not going to be your expert there. Jasper's Knoll, do you think there's anything to these mass shootings increasing every year? There's a lot of things to it. Okay, there's more population. There is a crap economy. There is a lot of people coming across the southern border. There is a epidemic of drugs. I mean, talking fentanyl and stuff like that coming through. There's an epidemic of hopelessness. There is a mental illness problem in this country, and of course, as you get more people in the country, the percentages don't change, but the amount of people do. 10% of 10 people, is one. If we still stay at 10% and you've got 100 people, now that's 10, So yeah, it's the reason is the hopelessness, the mental illness, and a lot of it I attribute to the stupidity coming out of Washington. I mean, when we're condoning kindergartners to pick their pronouns and all this sort of crazy stuff, all you're doing is confusing people, young impressionable minds. And then when things don't work out the way they expected, then they freak out. Again, it goes back into the everybody gets a trophy. Oh my God, you got a trophy. You finished 7th in the race. Congratulations. Here's your trophy. Then the kid goes and applies for a job and they go, sorry, we're not hiring you. And he's like, what? What do you mean? Everybody gets a trophy, right? Everybody gets a job, right? No, it doesn't work that way. And then the kid freaks out and goes, I can't find a job. Screw it. I'm going to make my mark on the world, or what do you mean I got my degree in underwater basket weaving and now I'm a barista at Starbucks? I have $70,000 in student debt that I'm never going to pay. Screw it. What's the point? That's what's going on with those. We're the optimism for the outlook of people's lives has changed, and some people just hit a breaking point and snap. Yeah, that's why. Purring Lady, why doesn't the Fed Chair Powell raise interest rates more faster to lower inflation? Because he's afraid of completely crashing the stock market. Okay, mind you, the Fed's not overly concerned about inflation. They'll say they will. They'll talk about it all they want, but they're more concerned about the stock market. All right, they need to do something, so that's raising the Fed. But when you raise rates, the stock market sells off, and they're trying to what's called jawbone the market right now. We'll slowly raise rates so the market's kind of aware of it. Because if he comes out tomorrow and says, boom, I'm raising 75 bips, the market goes, toilet. So yeah, the Fed isn't concerned about Main Street. The Fed's concerned about Wall Street. Camperman, have you had other people calling other people with your phone number? I have had it three times in 2 days. Other people calling other people with your phone number. I'm guessing you're saying somebody is spoofing your phone number. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Welcome to the Indian call centers here. The funny thing is, Mrs. P and I have a phone number with a New Hampshire area code from when I lived up there. And, most of these places, when they're telemarketers or, I always love the one, I'm with the sheriff's office and we're coming to serve you a warrant or whatever it is. Okay, fine, whatever. They don't do that. But anytime I see a phone number come through on my phone, it's a 603 area code. It's like, okay, I know it's spam. I mean, you want to spoof a number, that's great. But, the way around it is delete, because I have the only people that have 603 area code phones that I need to know about are Mrs. P and my daughter, and both of them are programmed into my phone, so I know who those are. Anything else that comes through from that number, guess what? Automatic delete. It's a good way of getting around it. I just got a different area code. But yeah, I probably get half a dozen spam calls a day. Let alone how many spam emails you can imagine I get too. Still the Nigerian scam. I love that one. It's like, oh, please help me in my dying wish. I have $27.5 million and I need to give it to somebody, and you look like a good person. Right. Julie WIP, what is a good solar battery for a whole house solar system? You're gonna have to be a little more specific. I mean, are you talking about, like I've talked about, the EcoFlow Delta Pros? That one would be my favorite if you're looking for something there. If you're talking about where you have a battery bank in the house, I'm not going to be the person to answer that, because I don't have a solar array on my roof and a stack of batteries in a battery room or something like that. That might be a Prepper Nurse 1 question or something like that. Silver stacking days, feelings on copper bullion. I've got about 200 ounces of copper. I mean, not that copper bullion's that expensive. It's under $500 what I've got there. Just again, I've got it because it's something and it's very small denominations. Not many people are going to recognize it for much of anything, but in case copper prices go through the freaking roof, I've got a little bit of it. 200 ounces isn't anything to shake a stick at. There's more copper in your house than that. But yeah, it's something else to have. I wouldn't say don't have it, but it wouldn't be my first place to put money. Appalachian Nana, Mr. Pinball, looking for a really good generator. Any thoughts? Go watch all the reviews I've done on the EcoFlow Delta 1300 and the EcoFlow Delta Pro. Those are going to be the ones that I'm going to recommend 10 times out of 10. Okie Forge, have I heard that 12 out of the 13 of Biden's proposed amendments to the WHO treaty were rejected? Yes. And notice who's rejecting. These are these small countries in Africa who are primarily doing all the rejecting of all this crap. I mean, little countries with, GDP of $12 are saying, no, we don't want to give up our sovereignty. Yet Biden's here going, take the United States. Jackass. Montana Grizz fan. All my dogs and cats are rescued. Sadly, I lost my 16-year-old Alaskan Malamute 2 weeks ago. I wasn't looking for a St. Bernard, but she chose me at the shelter. Well, I'm sorry you heard you lost the other dog. I know that's tough. Trust me, when I lose one of these pups, you won't see me for a couple of days. That I guarantee you that. Christy R. Zone 8, is it too late to plant potato slips? Again, I'm assuming you mean sweet potato slips. Probably. I mean, it's not that you're not going to have the warm days. You're going to have plenty of those. It's just, I don't know. I mean, the heat, the humidity, I don't know exactly where you are. That I'd ask somebody who lives in that particular area, go ask somebody who grows sweet potatoes, is it too late? They're going to be a better answer. I'm not a master gardener. I can't tell you, yeah, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you have until this day to do whatever. Okay. A lot of gardening is trial and error. I mean, what's the worst? If you got the slips, try them. If you're trying to start the slips now, you're way too late. Jennifer Small, how's the petition going on the Who? Let's take a look here. What do we have? There are 2,762 supporters. So, okay. Well, apparently a whole bunch of people don't really, don't care about Klaus Schwab taking over the world. Try. That's all you can do. Jennifer Lex, what are we doing with the bicycle pump? I must have missed something. I had made a comment in a video the other day about if there's no gasoline or whatever, the only way no power, the only way you're going to be getting around is with the bicycle, okay, or a horse. Okay, I don't own a horse. And so, bicycle tires go flat. You need to pump them up. And what type of air compressor do you have at home? I'd almost bet it's when you plug into the car or plug into the wall. And if there's no power, that doesn't work, So you need one of the old hand pumps. And when everybody in town's on a bicycle and you're the only one with a hand pump, guess who just has a barter item? I mean, that's it. Yeah, I'll fill you up. You fill up your bicycle tires for air for half a dozen eggs because you're the only one in town with one. Treasure Seekers, had to do a price increase on the pumps at work today. Diesel went up to $6.79 a gallon. Regulars now at $6.49. I cheated and filled my tank first. Very good idea. $6.49. God, we passed the store when we went into town today. We saw one at $4.29. I'm like, oh, there we go. Gas going up again. And you're $2.25 more. God. How anybody can afford to live in California, I have no freaking idea. Okay. Homestead Unknown asking again, thoughts on the meteor storm Monday. I didn't even know there is one. So, I mean, you can ask me a dozen times. I'm still not going to know about it. Marilyn Parmalee, I have long growth from the eyes of my seed potatoes I had put away. Do I cut it off and plant them? Don't cut them off. Don't cut them off. Just plant them. Okay. Just lay it out there. I had ones that are this long and they grew. Okay. If you've got a bunch of them on there, trim a few of them back, leave one long. Maybe that's what comes up or whatever. But if you got the sprouts, don't cut them off. Irene Corneliuson, do I know if the rumors of monkeypox in the U.S. yet? There's already been a couple of cases in the United States, so that's nothing new. Brewster, they're such hypocrites. What the heck gives them the right to say what death is? Unbelievable. I must be missing something here. Okay. D-Freak, any news on USA bird flu spread? The only news that I've heard on that is we are now hearing stories about an egg shortage, which is going to be real interesting, guys, because, I did see that the WHO said today that we're not going to need vaccines for monkeypox. By the way, uh, if you believe what the WHO says, I'm just telling you. So when somebody comes up and says, "Oh, we're going to do this," no, that's what's coming out right now. But yeah, on the bird flu spread, yeah, now because they've culled all these chickens, now we have no eggs. So, you know, all of those of you that bought your August and Farms powdered eggs and stuff like that, yeah, it probably was a good idea. That you got chickens and you're getting them. Yes, your eggs just got more valuable. But for those who don't have an egg source, they just got more expensive. Yeehaw. Oh, sorry. Let's see. I don't understand what that is. Krista Ballard, can you vacuum seal yeast to extend the shelf life? You're better off putting it in the freezer. That's it. You'll extend the shelf life by putting it in the freezer. Ann Ford, is gas in plastic drum or metal? You can put it in either, provided, I mean, again, it's a fuel grade plastic. Don't try filling up a milk jug with, gasoline. You see people like that and they wonder why it all just melts right out the bottom. Okay? Different grades of plastic for things. Just make sure it's fuel grade, whatever the material is. But other than that, plastic or metal, either is going to be fine. Bob Ethrickson, how long does propane store for? If I'm not mistaken, propane does not ever expire. That it does. It's not like gasoline that gets gummy. Propane's fine. I mean, again, the propane in this house that we use, I think I've told you guys before, literally the only thing in this house that's on propane is the stove. And when they built the house, they put a 500-gallon tank in there. I'm betting the propane here is probably since the house was built. So that would be 2012. So that means the propane here in this house is 10 years old because nobody lived in this house. I mean, it was a weekend cottage or whatever for people, and we've never put it in there. It runs the stove fine. So if I'm not mistaken, propane does not ever expire. Whoa. I hate when it does that. Shut up to the bottom or shut down to the bottom again. Okay. Rooster, we didn't have these shootings 45 years ago. Hell, we were terrified our neighbor's dad would beat our asses. Lack of respect, big time now. Yeah, I mean, you go back even to when I was a kid, and probably the generation after me, I'm not sure. But in a lot of places, I mean, a lot of places you had a gun rack in the back window of your pickup truck. You went to high school, drove to school. There were a couple of guns in the back of your truck. You're out of school, okay? They didn't kill anybody. You didn't go in and do it. And, I don't want to hear about this black scary rifle crap. It's practically a freaking 22, okay? So, it's just, again, like I said before, it's just something to make the sheep go, okay. Acton Gibbs, Pinball, please, my underwater basking weaving masters has taken me a long way. Smartass. Not my crosshair. You're assuming they want to work in the first place. And yeah, okay, I'll give you that. That's the other problem. People don't want to go to work anymore. It's too easy to get government handouts. Somebody's got to pay for it, but people aren't smart enough to realize that. That's the failure of our education system. People just think, hey, money's free. Money grows on trees. AOC. Groceries coming from the grocery store. That's the benefit of a public education or a Boston University degree. Okay, but yeah, don't get me started on her. Eleanor Mustang, which video do we comment under for the giveaway? The one I did Thursday afternoon. It says, what the hell did I call it? Hang on, let me look it up real quick. Memorial Day weekend celebration. Okay. Farmer Bill's Gardens. What do I think about buying goldbacks? We've talked about this a few times. Goldbacks are fine. They're just the value you're getting out of goldbacks is atrocious. Because yes, it's got gold in it, but yes, you're paying for the gold plus the premium plus the markups. Everything. If you figure it, I think I did this one time. If you took the amount of gold that's in a goldback, and I forget what denomination it was, you were paying somewhere thereabouts to the tune of $3,000 an ounce for the gold that you're buying in a goldback. They're cool. They, maybe one day they turn into something or whatever. But what you're paying for now, there's no value in them whatsoever. I mean, that's okay. That's going to sound wrong for people that don't understand what I'm saying. Yes, they have value, but what you're trading in greenbacks for goldbacks, it's not. You're paying way too much for them. Let's put it that way. Terry Hardaway, how much should a can of tuna be worth for barter? Who knows? I mean, something's only worth what somebody else will give you for it. I mean, that rule will certainly hold true. If you're, on a deserted island, Tom Hanks in that movie was a Castaway. I mean, he'd have given his left nut for a can of tuna. Okay, but for somebody else, a can of tuna might be worth a tomato. Yeah, I don't. It all depends on the situation somebody's in. Sugar in the attic. Weird. My bank is now closed on Saturday from now on. Strange. Not really. It's probably because the people that work in a bank, usually the only ones working on Saturday are the tellers, and tellers usually make a minimum wage. They probably just can't find anybody that's willing to work on Saturday, so that's why the bank's closed. Terry Hardaway, are chickens a taboo subject? No, chickens are fine. Yeah, pinball. YouTube hasn't said we can't talk about chickens yet. God. Veronica Walker says, thanks for all the gardening tips and spending the day outside tomorrow. Me too. Got a whole bunch of flowers I need to go out and plant, and definitely more peas. I picked another 6 pounds of peas, shelled peas, yesterday. Went over an hour sitting here on the front porch shelling peas. I felt like a little old Southern gentleman shelling peas. Though the music that I was playing wasn't exactly what you'd think of hearing down in the South, because not a whole lot of Metallica fans or something like that, but that would be the whole deal. But yeah, so I got another 6 pounds of shelled peas, so not bad. After shelling all these things, I put up 10 pounds of canned peas, and oh God, there's got to be another 5 pounds of frozen in the freezer. So, yeah, I got probably more peas to pick. My peas are about done. I think I'll get one more harvest out of it, and then the rest will let go to seed, and then those come out, and the melons go in. Man free, plant your eggs, grow chickens. There you go. Do roosters taste like chicken? Everything tastes like chicken. Let's see. Terry Hardaway, where are all the baby chicks? That's yeah, they're culling the baby chicks. That's the problem. And the ones you can get, somebody was saying the other day, was like $5 a chick, something like that. So, interesting. Who's going to pay $5 for a baby chick? Maybe the hens, but you're not going to get a whole lot of roosters. What good's a rooster for you unless you're trying to get more baby chicks, or you like waking up in the morning. Kathy Brown, how did you and Mrs. P meet? Online. I did a whole video on that once before, so yes. And I've answered that question many times. Where do we go to sign the petition? Hang on, let me see. I can put the link up real quick. Do. Bear with me. Copy and oh, you gotta be kidding me. All right, it's gonna take me a second to do this now because I gotta make it a small URL because it's too many characters. Paste. Go. Copy. All right, there is the link for the petition if you guys want to get in there. Saffron's Bay sufficiency. What would be a good crop to plant right now in southern Indiana? Must be tomato compatible. Bok choy is soon to be all gone in the garden. Carrots, definitely. I'm putting my carrots in tomorrow because it's now consistently above 80 degrees enough, and carrots will germinate. Any kind of peppers, that would work well. But yeah, if you're looking for summer crops to plant, the tomato compatible peppers, carrots, or even beans. I think, at that point you'd be fine with those bush beans. Let's see. Bob Ethrickson, I can't afford California. I'm just stuck here. Yeah, there's a problem. Let's see. Christ, it's 4 minutes till already. The hour just goes by so freaking fast. Liz Chavez, I guess no one's laughing at the Amish anymore. No, and and it's the silly thing is for so long everybody did, and there were a lot of people who watched what they did and learned from them, and what do they call us? They call us all the English. Uh, the one thing that we never learned from the Amish was community. That's the one thing they have that the rest of the world doesn't. You want to talk about everybody freaks out about building a mag. They're like, got it. And I've got 500 people in mine. The only problem is they're pacifists. And so if anybody comes and says, we're taking everything, they're like, okay. So I don't know, maybe if you live near the Amish, getting with them, offering protection in exchange for something might be a very valuable barter item. Marcia G, I just posted the link below. Robert Bates, eggs. There were 12 1 dozen cartons in my store on Friday before a huge tourist weekend. Yeah, that would be it. Yeah. 144 eggs. Family comes in and goes, yeah, we need eggs. Guess what? We'll take all of them. Brewer's wife, gas price today in Washington State, at least where you are in Washington State, they had gas. $4.93 a gallon. Thankful I have bikes and bike pumps. Don't forget the backup tubes too. Yes, very true. Homestead Unknown, sorry for the multi-question. First live stream, so I didn't know if I had to ask twice. Nope, just asked once. It's just a matter of me getting to them. That's all. No problem. Wow. Kelly Fitzgerald just ordered seeds. Park Seeds added a $1 fuel surcharge on my order. Beware. So are they delivering the seeds directly to you? Because if they're putting them through the post office or UPS, who's getting this fuel surcharge? Because UPS and post office didn't all of a sudden go, hey, you know what? We're charging an extra $1 per stamp or $1 per package. Nope. Lord Canaan King, donkeypox is the deadliest virus in America today. Yeah, jackass pox is more like it. But yes, I agree with you. Rhino pox. There you go. All right. Stella Longmire, don't they use chicken eggs to create flu vaccines? Yes, they do. That was why I mentioned there 5 minutes ago or whatever that the WHO said we are not going into another situation like that. And trust me, I know that all too well because, like I told you, they're supposed to be building this big chicken egg plant here in my town to make vaccine eggs. One more question. Tracy Bolin, can you vacuum seal cereal, crackers, etc. in the original box to keep from crushing them? No, because then all you're going to do is you're going to vacuum seal that. When you vacuum seal it, you're going to crush that box. So that's not going to work either. You yeah, because you're trying to get the air out, and there's air. I mean, you think of the wax bag that the cereal comes in. There's air in that bag. So when you vacuum seal it, if you don't go all the way, you've still left the air in there, which is no good. So yeah, vacuum sealing is not probably the best way to do crackers or anything like that. That's more of an O2 absorber would be the best way to go with those. So, all right, guys, it is 10 o'clock. Thank you all. Everybody, please, please, please have a safe holiday weekend. Don't anybody go out and get in trouble. Don't do anything stupid, And remember this, when you get holiday weekends like this, every other driver on the road has been drinking. So even if you're dead sober, don't expect everybody else to be because they aren't. All right. Stay safe, stay alive. We'll see y'all in the morning. Pinball out.